Okay, so if this is really going to be broadcast, so I have a friend in Norway, and I never even knew had to find myself on YouTube, and she had to tell me all the way from Norway, which she heard me speak for the Yahrtzeit. So I want to just tell Meta, who's all the way in Norway, thank you, because now I know how to do it. And wow.
You need glasses?
No, I don't need them for reading. So I guess all of you look a little fuzzy, but at least I can read my notes. But no. It's okay. It's okay. Wow. So like this is like the most special hour of my whole entire year. I know I'm going to speak 1 hour about Shlomo on his Yahrtzeit, and so I hope all the right things come down. So also for refuah, for everybody who needs refuah, for Michael Moshe Zev ben Yudit, and Natan Daniel ben Malka, Rav Natan and Efrat, and everybody that we know together in this, and Shlomo's Chut Yagen Aleinu Mamish, God, that Shlomo should be guarding on us. So maybe I'm going to tell you stories that you probably heard maybe millions of times, but I'm going to start with one story. I promised Judy this. And this is Dafka's story about a Rebbe from Brot and the Apta Rebbe. And I hope I remember it. Okay. So I told it a million times, but then I always forget. Okay. There's one Rebbe's name I forgot. But okay, the Apta Rebbe, he was coming down from heaven to this world, and God was giving him a lot of money. He said, Apta Rebbe, you're going to need a lot of money. And he said, I know I'm going to need a lot of money, but I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to take care of it. Give it to other people, and they'll have my account. So, okay, God listened to the Apta Rebbe. Other people had the Apta Rebbe's account. And then people started coming all the time, like we need lots of rubles for someone's getting married, and we need some more rubles for other things, and then somebody came. My daughter's getting married, mamish, next week. We don't have any money, please. No problem. He said, I know someone who's got my account with Ruach HaKodesh. He knew exactly. He writes a letter for the guy. He said, go to this certain town. That's what I forgot exactly which certain town it was. Go to this town. The richest man there, just give him this letter from the Apta Rebbe, and he's going to give you 1,000 rubles, no problem. The guy says, great. Goes all the way there, goes to this rich man, gives him the letter. Guy reads the letter. The rich man reads the letter. He said, I don't know who this Apta Rebbe is. I don't know who you are. I'll give you 10 rubles. Leave me alone. Oh my God, the wedding's next week. What's he going to do? So he runs back to the Apta Rebbe. He said, what am I going to do? You sent me all the way there. I got to make this chasana. Please, it's such a busha. So he said, no problem. I'm so sorry. Go to this rich man in Brot. Mamish, that's really Mamish. It's Mamish Brot. I remember that always. That one I didn't forget. Go to Brot. There's a rich man there. He's going to give you the money. Goes all the way there. So I just have a few more days left, until he got there. This is the letter from the Apta. He said, I don't know the Apta Rebbe. But if he said, I'm supposed to give you 1,000 rubles, no problem. He gives him all the money. Goes back, and thank God they made the wedding, simcha, nachas, everything good. But what happens? The rich man in that first village who didn't give him money for the chasana, so he mamish becomes poor. I don't know, his house burned down. I don't want to say such terrible things. And he mamish becomes a beggar going from town to town. He comes to Apt. He comes to the Apta Rebbe. He's mamish asking for tzedakah. He has to wait online. It's his turn. He comes in. The Apta Rebbe recognizes him. Ruach HaKodesh, he had never really met him, but he recognizes this is the rich man. And the rich man says, I became poor. Please give me some money. He says, I'll give you money, but don't you want to know why you became poor? Why all this happened? He said, yeah, I'd like to know. So the Apta Rebbe told him. He said, you had my account. You had my account, and you didn't take care of my account. And meanwhile, the rich man in Brot, he becomes even richer. And So I once told this story, and it really worked. I said, if anybody has my account, let me know. And I was like putting out a call, I need sponsors, and someone came after Mamish wrote me a big check. So I didn't do this now to get a big check. I'm just saying that we said this is free classes, and everyone is Mamish like gonna have the highest Shlomo Yahrtzeit. But really, when you really are inspired and you Mamish like are going to another level, so how could you not leave this room without putting, is there a pushka here? Yeah. There is, okay. I just want to say that every single person going to get just, Reb Shalom and Judy worked so hard. I'm telling you, this is Shlomo's dream. To be sitting here, Shlomo, his whole life, he said there should be a yeshiva in the middle of Yerushalayim that people could learn my Torah and everyone could come and share. And you guys did it. You guys, Mamish, did it. And we had the biggest celebration. It was 10-year celebration, that 10-year celebration. It was like, oh my God. It was like every single person that we knew from the whole Chevra. There was not one person not there. People flew in from everywhere also. So but it's not easy to keep it going. And I want to tell every single person that I see on the street, please come to my class. But lots of people don't have any money at all. So really, if whatever you give to this yeshiva, it's so that Mamish, we could just keep asking everybody to come, and those who can't pay, other people sponsor, and just like it all is taken care of. It's all taken care of. So don't forget when you leave. Don't forget when you leave, because I'll tell Shlomo Mamish was the biggest giver. That's what he did his whole life. His whole life he was Mamish giving to everybody. All those stories about after a concert, he gets paid and then someone cries him and said, I don't have any money and I'm at the end, and he would just give everything he had gotten for the concert, he would give to the poor person. Like unbelievable stories. And we know people who saw it happen, and we saw it happen, and wow. I was afraid I wouldn't have anything to say. But at the end, when it's time for me to be quiet, you just like, I have like this button, we have to turn this on over here. There's a little button there. And then when I have to talk about Shlomo, you'll have to turn the button off. Okay, so people asked me, they said, how did you meet Shlomo, and how did you get to this place? And so I met him when I was 14. And I went, so forgive me if anybody's heard this story like 1 million times. And I went to this concert, and they were dancing and singing about Shabbos. And I came from Belrose Jewish Center, and my parents had Shabbos, but they didn't have this kind of Shabbos that Shlomo's people were singing and dancing about. It was like, oh my God, I felt Mashiach. I didn't even know what Mashiach is, but I felt Mashiach coming. And I said, what is going on here? And I had my sister and her boyfriend, who's now my brother-in-law, and they have lots of kids and they live in Israel. So they had taken me on a date with them because he was a yeshiva bach, and Shlomo used to play for all the yeshivas. And they took me backstage, and they said, ask Shlomo. And so I talked to Shlomo. I don't know what I said. I was 14. What did I say when I was 14? But I wanted to know what kind of Shabbos is this. And then he took my number. And for years, he would call me Erev Shabbos to say good Shabbos. Now, if he was calling me, this little kid, how many hundreds, thousands of people he would be calling everywhere. He had like suitcases filled with little pieces of paper with everybody's number. He put them all in books. He had people's numbers everywhere. And because he did that, I stayed connected, and then I was going to this high school performing arts. I never became an actress, but at least I could talk on Shlomo's Yahrtzeit. So I learned a little in drama school, and I was with all these non-Jews, and here they had parties Friday night, and I said to my father, "Can I go to these parties?" My father said, "Oh my God, what's a nice Jewish girl doing in a place like this?" And it was a year that there was a school strike. And the public schools were closed for little people, and my little brother wasn't going to school. So my brother-in-law said to my father, "Didn't you always want to send the kid to yeshiva?" So that year, thank God for that New York school strike, whenever it was, hundreds of years ago. So my little brother started yeshiva in 3rd grade, and then my father said to me, "Don't you want to go to yeshiva?" I said, "Okay." And I went to Yeshiva High School of Queens. And I came to Israel with my whole class, to Machon Gold. It doesn't exist anymore. But Rabbi Gabi Cohen was in charge of that school for hundreds of years, and he's Shlomo's cousin. And I honored him he was the Ish Yerushalayim this year. He was mamish like honored this year, like the very, very special person in Yerushalayim, Shlomo's cousin. And so he's honored in the Kol Chevra. Anyway, I went to this school. I didn't know Hebrew so well, but then it was safe. I tramped around the whole country. But what happened is that we met Shlomo. One time, Shlomo was coming, and there was this rumor everyone should meet at a certain house, like on Rehov Lincoln. And so we went there, and it was wild because I met there two people, Chaya Leder and Rachel Trugman, who went to Machon Gold, and they said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "What are you doing here?" And there we met Shlomo, and then we started going every Shabbos. He would make, whenever he was in Israel, he made these most unbelievable Shabboses. He would make Shabbos at the Kotel, and then we'd all walk back to this Lincoln. It was a little place, but he mamish hundreds of people fit in. And he had people cooking all day, and there was food for everyone somehow, miraculously. And then he put everyone up in different places, oh my God, in hotels. And he took care of us all, mamish like we were all his kids, all his holy kids. And we used to sing through the streets of Yerushalayim, Yidalak Shrai Shabbos, mamish in the middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning, we'd come back. And I got married and got married in America, came back during Sheva Brachas. We met Shlomo in the airport. And I don't know if we really made Sheva Brachas at the airport. I don't know if we did that. But we met Shlomo at the airport, and he was there, and we came back here. And wow. And then we had a little house of love and prayer in Tveria. And I had just gotten married, and I didn't really know how to cook or bake or anything. I remember I bought these challahs that looked fantastic, but they were hard as a rock. And people would say, "Oh my God, who made these challahs?" I said, "I don't know." But that wasn't the ikar. The ikar was that Shlomo brought us all together from all over everywhere. We all made Shabbos together. And then the Richies were close with the Amshin of a Rebbe, and somehow we got this Moshav Modi'in together. We all used to get together for Rosh Chodeshes, and then we'd have meetings, all the Chevra. And we somehow made like a garin of like 10 families with all these young kids with little babies, and we did it. We made like a place for Shlomo, and he had a little house over there. But that took a while. They were like still building it when we first came. And we lived in these old houses, and we came from Tzfat, and we were in the first house, the first people that came to the Moshav. And we were really all these young people that didn't know. Shlomo would go from concert to concert, everywhere he went, not just in Israel, all over the world, and invited them to come to Modi'in to make Shabbos. And then, so we had to learn how to cook. We had to learn how to bake. Actually, I learned how to bake. You make big giant, oh my God, humongous chocolate cakes that would feed 100 people. And everyone started to come. And then we said, Shlomo, this is too much for us. We can't do it. We can't do it. We're just young couples with babies, and you're sending us all the craziest people in the whole world. And he said, they're crazy because they need Shabbos. And Shabbos is the refuah. We said, what is this, a hospital? And he said, Shabbos is, mamish, like, this is a hospital. He said, people will come here and everybody will be healed. Oh my God, Judy, we made Shabbos there. And we did it. We couldn't complain. We did it. We mamish did it. And there's lots of other people. Neely's doing it. Lots of people. Judy's continued to do it for 100 years. We got it from Shlomo, but that's what we have to do. And this is the Parsha. We just had Parshas Vayera. Avram is getting a revelation of God. And he says, wait, I have to take care of the guests. Because what was part of the revelation is that we have to take care of whoever comes to our door. We have to take care of whoever comes. Wow. I was just reading over when I lost my glasses on the train that he said that when God gives you a mitzvah, It's exactly the mitzvah you need. It's exactly the mitzvah your soul needs. It says, like, if you're hungry, so you know when you're hungry. But when your soul needs something, you might not know. You might not know what your soul needs. So God gives you a mitzvah, special mitzvah to do just that your soul needs it. Your soul needs it. And wow. So we have to take care of people because God can wait. But maybe people that are at our door can't wait. Someone always made this funny story about Mr. Green writing a book about tzedakah. I probably told this story also a million times. Shlomo would tell it a million times. This guy's writing a book about tzedakah. I just told it last week. He's writing a book about tzedakah. And then someone comes knocking at the door for tzedakah. And he says, I can't go to the door. I'm writing my book. Craziness. But the thing, it sounds like a crazy story, but it really, really happened to me where I'm transcribing. I was thinking about it, that I transcribe, like I'm addicted to transcribing Shlomo. Every minute I have, every night I fall asleep on the computer. My poor husband says, Emunah, you're sleeping. Come sleep in bed. I said, leave me alone. I'm transcribing, but I'm totally asleep. Because you know when you're asleep on the computer, you get like lines of the same letter, you know? Hundreds of lines of the same letter, so you know you're sleeping. And one more line. That's what, Ruben, one more line. He said, no, come now. But I've been doing this forever. I remember that we went to America years ago during the Gulf War, and the first thing I had to do was then they didn't even have computers. I had to somebody was going to give me an electronic typewriter because I couldn't have one day, one night without listening to Shlomo and transcribing. I'm a nutcase. So my mamish had been doing it for years and years and years. And then I realized Shlomo kept me sane. I don't know, probably everybody knows I have 14 kids, b'li ayin hara. They should just all be healthy, all be b'simcha, all have shalom bayis, all have everything they need. Amen. My chayal right this minute, I didn't tell him I was going to tell all of you, but it's okay, because he told me to daven that between 10 and 12, he's a combat medic, and he already gives injections and does stuff like a medic does, but there's an advanced course. And he's got to get into that course. So right now, also this giving over this Torah is for my son Eli Melech, Menachem Mendel, Daniel Hirsch. He should get into that course. So he's giving the injections already. He better know what he's doing. He once came home and asked me if I wanted an injection. I said, no way. But one of his sisters, he tried it on his sister. Oh my God. That's really sisterly, brotherly love. If you let your brother give you a shot. Okay, anyway, so. Oh my God. So all the Chayalim should be safe. Mamish, this country should be. Shlomo said if we really, really, really wanted peace, we would say to Kadosh Baruch Hu, you cannot live one more day without peace, and scream, we really, really need peace. We can't live without it. So these are all the things that Shlomo gave. So I was saying that he really kept me sane because I had all these kids. B'li ayin hara. But I was a good mother. I didn't ignore them all. I transcribed mamish right in the middle of the main room. We had a big dining room, a big living room, and my typewriter, electric typewriter, and then a computer right in the middle of that main room. And there'd be chaos everywhere. But I would keep transcribing. But if I really had to feed the kids, I did. So then I was realizing, you always have, like, you send them all to school, but you always have like a baby too at home. But I finally get both babies to sleep. There's always like a baby and a 2-year-old, whatever. I get them to sleep. I said, okay, now I can transcribe a little bit while they're both sleeping. And then someone would knock at the door. I thought, I'm not going to get the door because I'm finally the babies are sleeping. The house is quiet. I can now transcribe. But how could I not get the door when I'm transcribing Shlomo, who says, answer the door. Someone is coming that needs your help, whatever it is. And so I said, I better get the door. I better get it.
That was me knocking.
No. And wow. Like Shlomo also taught us, like, we never locked our door. We never locked our door. We never, ever locked our door. People would come in morning, noon, and night. And then one time on an Erev Shabbos, I had kol chevra money that didn't belong to me. I had to give it to the foundation, and it was in a kupa. Stupidly, I didn't put it away before Shabbos. After Shabbos, it was gone. It was mamish gone. And we had to go to a Malava Malka. My husband had been waiting for his best friend, Moshe Shore, to come to Israel to play some music, and we had to go. And I said, there was all these checks in it, like $1,000. I was mamish, I was devastated. I was crying. Who could take money on shop, whatever? And so I said, okay, but my husband's really been waiting to go this Malava Malka. I'm going to go. I'm not going to let it, I'm going to not think about it. But I prayed so much that somehow I'm going to get it back. But, you don't get checks back that someone steals, but whatever. But the next day in the mail, I couldn't believe it. Other checks came. Other checks came, and never, ever in my life did a whole bunch of checks come at once on a Sunday morning. And it was like God really hurt me. He saw that I cried so much that, somehow. So why did I tell you all of this? Also, that you have to know also which mitzvah to do every moment. Which mitzvah to do every moment. Because there was a mitzvah that I had to daven for the money, but then, okay, you do your shtadlus, you do whatever you can do. And then I had to go dance at a Malava Malka, because that's what God wanted me to do. So you have to know every minute, exactly where you need to be, what you need to do. And it's not so easy with mothers, like take care of husbands, take care of children, take care of the neighbors, take care of the person at the door. Like you have to know exactly which mitzvah to do. You have to know which mitzvah to do. You have to have kibbut avei. What does your mother want? What does your father want? I'm looking around because everyone's a little fuzzy, but like exactly who am I talking to? Like what's going on? Like what's going on all our lives? Exactly what we need to do at every moment. What we need to do at every moment. Well, I'll tell you. So Shlomo really gave over kibbut avei. So I'm going to reveal to you the first story in the Kol Chever. If my son ever brings the books, you'll see it afterward. The very first story was about Shlomo's mother. And then I'll tell you a story about his father, too. So his mother, they were gathered together in New York. And, of course, staying up very, very late, Motzei Shabbos. No one wants to go to sleep Motzei Shabbos. Shlomo would say the whole world is waiting for Mashiach. We don't even know why, that we don't want to go to sleep Motzei Shabbos. But Motzei Shabbos, nobody wants to go to sleep. Everybody's waiting for Mashiach. Everybody. And we're lonely, so we want to be together. So, wow, I bless us all with the best Malava Malkas ever. And I married my husband because we had good Malava Malkas, and he also makes good hot chocolate coffee. He makes really, because I'm malugma. You're supposed to drink a malugma on Motzei Shabbos, and he makes coffee with chocolate. So I went for it. And so, wow. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be 60 like in 3 weeks, so if I forget stuff, help me. This is good. Thank you so much. Thank you. So wow. So everyone was making a lot of noise. Shlomo lived in the shul, and so somebody said, and his mother came and said, Shlomo, it's time for the Chevra to go home. Don't you think, Shlomo? It's time for the Chevra to go home. And so somebody says, hi, Shlomo, what a drag. Your mother, she wants us all to go home. And he says, don't say anything bad about my mother. So the story is, so we told the story over, that it was right before the war. And I think they were coming from Baden in Vienna. And they had a little German maid who helped out. And all of a sudden, everything started disappearing in their house. Like all their mamas, their like good stuff. And so the family got together. So we got to fire this little German maid because we're not going to have anything left. And what do we do? Do we go to the police? But the situation wasn't so good. Shlomo's mother, Rebbetzin Pesti, she said, don't worry. Just leave it to me. I'm going to take care of it. And she goes over to this little German maid, and she said, I'm so sorry. The little maid said, what are you sorry about? Said, obviously, we haven't paid you enough. And so the maid realized that the Rebbetzin knew she was stealing, but that the Rebbetzin wasn't even accusing. It was Mama saying she was sorry. And she started to cry. She gave everything back. She said, you're not going to get me in trouble. She said, no, no, no. And she stayed on. And then the Nazis came. And this German officer came and he said, we want, we know you have a daughter in this house, and Shlomo's big sister, Shalamis. We want her to go to this factory. And she said, to work in a factory. And this little German maid, so she said, no, I'll go instead. And she went instead of Shalamis, Shlomo's big sister. And this German officer fell in love with this little German maid. This is a true story. Yeah. And somehow, she's the one who got visas for the whole Karlbach family, and they made it out.
Wow.
They mamish made it out. So Zale Newman in Toronto, he mamish sent me this story, and it was like, oh my God, it shook us up. And he said, one act of compassion, one act of chesed, changed the whole, mamish, the future of the whole Karlbach family. And they mamish made it out. Whoa. So, our lives don't seem so dramatic. But sometimes when God gives us mitzvahs to do, and if we have a little more chesed, a little more compassion, you don't have to leave because of the baby. The baby doesn't bother anybody. So, okay, just want to tell you that. Okay. And, Shlomo would say also, Vayera, that God is revealing himself to Abraham, and everyone gets a little bit Ruach HaKodesh. Wait, I wanted to tell you something else. 1 second. So I just transcribed this also. Someone said that if God only revealed to us exactly what our mitzvah does and what happens after we do it, oh my God, we would be blown away. There was this one other crazy story that this guy comes to Shlomo's father. Yeah, I said I'd say a story about his father too. Comes to Shlomo's father, and it's Shabbos. He comes Friday night, and he says to Shlomo's father, I'm going to get thrown out of my house. I have to pay this $100 rent. And for then, I guess it was a lot of money. It was a long time ago. Thank you, Mechel. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wait, I just want to say one thing while Mechel is here, because I wrote it down that I wanted to thank Mechel. Mechel taught me, just wait for 1 second, Mechel, just for 1 second. One time, 11 people called me up that they wanted to come for Shabbos, and I only have room around the table in the old city for 10. And I was like, what am I going to do with one of these people? When my husband's going to have to go downstairs. He does that sometimes. If there's not too many people, he goes downstairs and makes room for everybody. But Mechel once came with friends, and we already had 10 people around the table. I said, oh, Mechel, I didn't know you were coming. And you move the refrigerator. You run up a table. And we had 5, we could have 10 more people. So I just wanted to thank you that Shlomo's dream was that we never worry about how many people come for Shabbos. And you taught me how to do it. So thank you. So maybe I was locked out of my house and couldn't get the books just so I could tell you thank you. Okay, now you can go do what you got to do. You really saved my life because, again, this Shabbos, we had 10 people. And then we had more, and I already knew just bring up that table. It was a little wobbly, but we did it, and we made room for everybody. And oh my God, I'm borrowing you for 1 second. Okay. So Shlomo, back to Shlomo's father. See, you thought I might have forgotten, but I didn't. So this person comes already on Shabbos. I need money. And I already went to every single rabbi in the whole community, and no one wants to help me. I even went to all the priests and all the churches, and I'm going to get thrown out. If you throw me out, if you don't help me, oh my God, what could happen? What could happen? My 7 children, they're going to become hoodlums and drunks and drug addicts and who knows what. They're living on the street, and all these terrible things are going to happen because we're mamish. I can't pay the rent. Shlomo's father was already Shabbos. But he said to Shlomo and Eli Chaim, his twin brother, he said, listen, we got to take care of this guy. He called the janitor, the non-Jewish janitor. He told the janitor, call up the Baal Bayit and tell him, Motzei Shabbos, he'll have the money. Just 24 more hours. I'm Naftali Karbach, you know me, and I'll make sure he gets the money. So they did it. They called they got the janitor. He called the Baal Bayit, and that Motzei Shabbos, everything, the rent was paid for. Sunday, this guy who had come that couldn't pay his rent, he came with all his children and his wife to Shlomo's father. He said, you saved our lives. You saved our lives. And they were the most, they were so assimilated. They didn't even know that they were Jewish, but they came to a rabbi, so they knew a little bit. And they mamish became like Shlomo's Chassidim, Shlomo's father's Chassidim. And Shlomo's father, when he did it, I'm sure that when he said, he knew that was a mitzvah that God was giving him. And even though, he got it on Shabbos, he was able to take care of it. He was able to take care of it. The guy trusted him. And so also so many times people want us to do a mitzvah. We say, I can't really do it now. I don't have time. I can't do it. And, but then if we realize what this one little mitzvah, we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know where it's going to go. So I might have told you this last year too. I might tell you every year. But so many times you want to like an eitzah, like really, really an eitzah that's going to keep you going for the rest of your life. So because I transcribe so much, one Torah, I have to tell it over all the time. Shlomo said that if you could do that one mitzvah, if you can do it when you have like no koach left, like from the morning to night, you've been taking care of everybody, you've been taking care of your children, the family, this one, that one, you answer the door all the time, and then finally you close the door, you're so tired, you don't want to take care of anybody else. But God gives you one more mitzvah. And if you do it, if you not just do it, but you do it b'simcha, so listen to what happens. Shlomo says that, sometimes, God forbid, none of us get angry. God forbid, none of us should get angry. But sometimes when somebody does get angry, sometimes a person gets angry, and they get so angry, they can't get out of it. And no one could help them, because it even says in the Torah, don't try to appease someone when they're angry, because nothing will help. You can't take care of it. And this person gets so angry. So what happens? If you do that mitzvah that you were so tired and you didn't think that you could do, your mamish do it, and you do it b'simcha, God saves it for you, like in a bank. It's like this mitzvah bank, and he puts it in the bank. And God forbid, none of us should ever get so angry. But if we ever get so angry that mamish we get angry, God mamish takes you out of the anger himself, because nobody else can. So I would say that when you are given a mitzvah to do it, you're really too tired to do it, and you don't want to do it at all. But if you know this Torah, you say, okay, I'm going to put it in the bank. It's going to go in the bank. I'll tell you another Torah that also kept me going my whole life, and forgive me if I've told it a million times, that we want to daven. All of us want to daven. We want to daven b'kavana. Probably you remember this from our workshops 20 years ago. We want to daven. And so we said, okay, now I'm going to daven. It's a little quiet. I can have a little kavana. I'm really, really going to daven now. And you start off with good thoughts, and your mom is reading every word, and you have kavanah, and then all of a sudden you lose it. You start thinking about this, thinking about that. Someone owes you money, and whatever. You mamish lose the kavanah. And by the time you finish Shmon Esrei, oh no, I did it again. I lost it completely. And if you have to rate this tefillah, it's like a 0. Mamish efes, total efes. But it's also, there's a bank of all the efeses. Each one of us has our own little bank of the efeses. And just one time we daven really, really good, God saves all those efeses, and he puts the 1 in front of all the efeses. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. So we have to just keep going. We have to just keep going. Someone would say that if you fall, like you would nichshel, you mamish, like make a mistake. So you just have to pick yourself up and just keep going, like a malit, like, like say you're in an elevator and you really fell down to the basement. All you have to do is just like push the top button and you can go back up. You can go back up. He said, if you have another mitzvah, okay, it's mincha time. And you say, but how can I daven mincha? I just did this terrible aveira. I don't know what I did. I don't know what it is, but it was awful. But he said, don't get depressed about it. Just push that button and daven mincha. No. Because if you keep holding on to what you did wrong, he said, that's what... Shlomo blessed us. He blessed us that we should all, mamish, find our right teachers, the right rebbes, the right svarim. He would always tell us, you have to keep looking and searching and find the sefer that's, mamish, the sefer for you. And he once told me to learn because it's Tzaddik Kohen. I haven't done it really yet, but okay, it's something to look forward to. And I'll tell you that like 12 years ago, I was left with a house filled with svarim. And I knew Hebrew, I could read the Hebrew, but to really understand what was inside all those books, like Shlomo would talk to us and he'd tell us where everything was from, but he didn't, we didn't learn on the inside. That's why you always bless us with chavrusas too. We should all have chavrusas. I'll tell you, for mothers and people that are very busy, even if just 5 minutes a day, you call up your best friend, or you do it with your husband, or do it with your kid, or do it with a parent, whoever it is, your neighbor, on the phone or in person or Skype, it doesn't matter how. But if you learn something ratzuf, mamash, every single day, you could change the whole world. You could change the whole world. And because Shlomo was he mamish talked about it all the time, that we had to find the right sefer, and the right chavrusas, the right teachers. And he blessed us all that all our children should have teachers that were sweet, teachers that would give over the Torah in the most beautiful way in the world. And wow. So I said, okay, I better do it. I want to learn on the inside. So I started with Rebbe Nachman. He's pretty easy. Well, sentence by sentence, you can start with Rebbe Nachman. And I did also the Holy Slonimer, Netivot Shalom. And I would ask every single kid that came into the house. I have 8 sons, and I would bother all of them. I would call up all of them. What does this mean? What does that mean? And I had 3 dictionaries. You need a Hebrew English. You need a Hebrew Aramaic, then you need abbreviations. They didn't have enough paper when they wrote the book, so everything is abbreviated. Every word, every other word is abbreviation. And then you look up in the book, the abbreviation, you have like a choice of 20 words, and you don't know which one. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God. So he slowly, I bless us all. I bless us all to keep going and persevering, and mamish do it. And so I became very close with the Slonimer Rebbe. I mamish felt like one of my girlfriends who also learned Slonimer, Ruchi Ebner, she said it's like chocolate. It's so sweet, so sweet. And so he says all the time that every single one of us has a special mitzvah that we have to do. And we have to figure it out. Like it always changes also. It changes. Like every year it changes. Like Rosh Hashanah changes, maybe Pesach also, like you have to. Someone would say that when you get rid of all your chametz, God reveals to you again. He renews it. He tells you exactly what your mitzvah is for this coming year. And so, and then also every Rosh Chodesh, you wake up and say, exactly what am I supposed to do this month? And really every single day, there are special mitzvahs that each and every one of us can do that nobody in the whole entire world, nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. And sometimes you want to give a mitzvah to somebody else. I was also transcribing, Shlomo was giving over a Gemara shir, and it was in the house of a prayer, and these kids didn't know anything, and he was teaching the most complicated. There's things about a shaliach, giving a get. Can you give a get? Can you get married with a shaliach? All these different shilas, chuvas and shilas, and whoa. So again, we have to figure it out. We have to mamish like daven every single day. God, give me the right mitzvah to do. Give me what my soul needs. I don't know why I lost this, probably the sixth pair of glasses. I found out that when you turn 60, you get free glasses. But I don't know if I can go for a whole month, but then 3 weeks without seeing too much. But whatever. You have to know your priorities also, what to cry about, what not to cry about, what's really important in the world, what's really, really important. So Shlomo would say all the time, he'd say this crazy thing to us. He would say, when somebody is yelling at you, he'd say, I guess you have to take a few deep breaths, because our first reaction, if someone yells at us, is that we're going to yell back. I mean, we're human. That's what we do. Someone yells at you, you yell back. But he said, if we can really hold back and not yell back, and mamish have so much rachmanis, and really say, why is this person yelling at me? Something's really troubling him. I'm not going to yell back. I'm going to tell this person who's yelling at me, I love you. What can I do for you? Oh my God. He said that we could change the whole entire world. And why am I telling you this? Because it's a really, really intense Torah, because none of us can hardly ever do it, because really when someone yells at you, you yell back. But can you imagine if we just started to try to do it? If we just try to do it. And I thought, I could do this one. Shlomo's always telling us these things, but I passed that test already. And then sure enough, you get the test. I called up once somebody starts screaming at me on the phone. Whatever, it was a relative. Someone was getting divorced. I wanted to make shalom bayis, but that wasn't the right thing to do. I did the wrong thing. But they were screaming at me. And I just wanted to do good, but obviously it wasn't the right thing. And I thought, whoa, I got to remember the Shlomo Torah. I took deep breaths. I said, okay. I hung up, and then thought, I don't want to call back because they're still mad at me. But okay, I'll write an email. And I wrote back saying I was sorry, And wow, so if we could all do it just a little bit in our lives, just a little bit, when people yell at us. And then I think also, the Shlomo talks all the time about being shalem with yourself, and being shalem with everybody else, and being shalem with God. And then I thought, wow, look at these two scenarios. I gave this over in my class. Let's say a husband says to his wife, said, oh my God, this house is a mess. I can't walk from one place to another without tripping on the toys, without tripping on the kids, and it's a mess. And if the wife is okay, she's okay. She says, you're right. You're right. The house is a mess. I need a little help. Maybe you'll help me. But she's like really nice about it. She doesn't. But say somebody is really, really, they're not so at peace, because I guess the chaos got to them too. And they said, what? You're telling me the house is a mess? I've been screaming for a maid since we got married. Why don't you just get me a maid? I have all these kids and you didn't get me a maid. If you're not going to do it, get me a whatever. So, it's two different reactions. but it's really, really what we're feeling inside, like where we are. Doesn't matter what the other person says. A person could really yell at you, and you could say, yeah, you're right, and laugh and say, yeah, I never cleaned the house so good. Whatever it is, whatever, in any situation. So I'm blessing us all. Shlomo would always say to us that we could really make it a better place. This whole world can be a better place. Sometimes you get onto an Egged bus, and the bus driver is really nervous, and you can't find your card, and he screams at you, "Go sit down," and then find your card, and you're like, "Oh my God, where's that card? I can't find my Rav Kav again." I never yell at my kids if they lose their Rav Kav, because you don't know how many times I've lost Rav Kav. I have lost Rav Kavs. Don't tell anybody, but I've gone a few times to get a new Rav Kav. But so. And then you realize, maybe, who knows, maybe the Shlomo would say, like the driver, maybe his wife yelled at him when he was leaving the house, and he's now yelling at you. And so you yell at somebody else, or you could stop it and say, wow, that poor driver, I'm going to daven for him because he's got to go through the streets of Yerushalayim, and it's not so easy to drive through the streets of Yerushalayim. Wow. So if we just daven for each other all the time. Shlomo would say that we meet each other on the street. We have to bless each other. We have to bless each other all the time. We have to bless each other all the time. We have to bless each other, and mamash, we have to share Torahs with each other, because mamash, Mashiach is mamash coming. Mashiach is really, really coming. I'll tell you, I felt it. I went to the Churva synagogue on Simchas Torah. And I live right near the Churva. I'm in the Rova. And all I have to do is just like roll over, put on my slippers, run to the shul, and it's Nate. And they sang Kedusha. I don't sing so good. I sing off tune. So I could sing because I don't even have Kol Isha. Like mamish, the most beautiful Kedusha in the world. But in the Churva, no one knew it. No one knew it. No, your husband sang it so nice. He sang it so nice on Shabbos. So nice. And no one knew it in the Churva. But I couldn't believe it that mamish, the Chazan, the Baal Tefillah, was singing Shlomo's. The very, very first Shabbos of the Churva, when the Churva opened, I got there early. It wasn't the Nate's minyan yet. It was like 8 o'clock. And I thought, I don't have to get there at 8. I get there at 8:15. The place was filled. Women sat on the floor, whatever. And they sang that Kedusha also. They sang that Kedusha too. They haven't sung it since, but now they did it again on Simchas Torah. They didn't dance. The women didn't dance. So then I said, okay, that's it for Nate's on Simchas Torah. I've got to go find a minyan. And I went to Rav Raz's minyan. And oh my God, the women were dancing with the Torahs, a few Torahs, and all the children had a chance to mamish be with the Torah, all the little kids. And it was beautiful. But mamish, you feel Mashiach coming. You really, really, really feel Mashiach coming. How much more time? How much more time? Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll do it when it's done.
We don't have a minute until about 4:15.
Okay. So listen. Because I'm so addicted to transcribing Shlomo, I said you should hear it from his words. But I want to just tell you one other quick story about Hachnasas Orchim, because it was just Parshas Vayera. And also it's going to be Parshas Chayes Sarah, and everybody in all of Israel goes to Hebron, this tiny little place, and they mamish take care of thousands of guests. I don't know how they do it. Many of my kids always go, and mamish, it's unbelievable. They take care of everybody. My Eli Melech told me that he's been stationed in many, many places. Now he's in Shechem, so he should also just be safe. And when he was in Hebron, he was a guard. He was a guard to mamish guard all the people that were walking from Kiryat Arba to Hebron. Just wherever we are, we should be safe. We should be safe. So one time on Shavuos, because Shavuos is everyone goes to the hotel, and we live in the Rova. Everybody wanted to come to us. Everybody wanted to come. And forget about one table of 10. We had 2 tables, but we had oh my God, we had so many guests, and everyone was so squished. No one could even go to the bathroom because you couldn't open the door, whatever. It was crazy. And there was somebody else that was coming. And they were coming. They were friends from America, and they didn't call us. I thought, oh, thank God they're not going to come because there's not room for one more person. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So what does that mean? Okay, I'm going to finish the story quick. So I said, there's mamish, like no room. And then there was a knock. My husband told me that in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, if there's a flag up, that means the place is full, but you don't put up a flag until the place is really full. I was just going to tell my husband, I think we got to put up the flag. And then there was a knock, and these people came, and they said, we're so sorry we didn't call you, but your number was in our suitcase, and the suitcase got lost. But we found out where you live. And I said, okay, and we got more chairs, we squished more, and it was the best Shavuos of our lives, So again, every mitzvah that you can do, you don't know how you'll change the world. So just because I really have to be finished, you guys have to take a little break before the next Rabbi Shlomo Katz is coming.
I want to say something that was one of my sons when he was about 2 years old, something like that. We had the schus of being at the Emunah's house for about a month, and there were people all over the place. And I remember I picked up the phone, and somebody wanted to come for Shabbos, and Emunah said, tell them that we have space under the piano. And he said, okay, I'm coming.
Wow. So just to end off. Wow, okay, so he's talking about Chayas Sarah, that our Holy Mother Sarah, Mamish, takes off when Yitzchak is on the Akedah. So Shlomo's saying, so he also says something about Adam and Chava. A lot of us say, where was Adam when Chava was that the snake was bothering Chava? Where was Adam? But this is how Shlomo says it. Listen to this. When you love somebody very, very much, you can keep them alive. Oh, so this is what happened. Chava says to Adam, she says to her holy husband, oh my God, I took the bite I shouldn't have, but I don't want to die alone. And Adam really loved her. He took the apple and he said, I'll die with you. Oh my God, he said, I'll die with you. So he says, listen to this is Shlomo. Listen to this utmost steps. When you love someone very much, you can keep them alive. It's a very, very high level to say I can die with you, but this is the outside of paradise. Paradise connection is that I'm saying to you, I won't let you die. We have to live. Wow. And he says, the highest is to give your life for your children. This is our Holy Mother Sarah. The holiness of Avram is that he taught us how to give our life for God. But Sarah was teaching us how to give your life for children. This is the deepest depths of life. So I'm sure if Shlomo was here, he'd say, whoever's not married, they should be blessed to get married. Whoever doesn't have children, they should be blessed to have children. I was walking in the streets of Yerushalayim, and this guy says hello to me, but I'm really going to stop. I am going to stop. This guy says hello to me. I said, do I know you? And he said, you don't know me, but we just made Aliyah. And I said, who are you? He said, I'll tell you that my wife is 57 and she just had a kid. I said, oh my God. Actually, it was the second kid. She had a kid when she was like, you met these people. And I'm telling you, God is making miracles. God is making miracles all the time. God is making miracles all the time. All right, just the last thing.
There's a request from someone.
Okay, please daven for my son in the army. He was 21, David Yisrael ben Shoshana.
Amen.
Okay, for David Yisrael ben Shoshana. And okay, I just want to tell you the last. This is the last. Okay, the very, very last. Okay. Okay, this is the best. All right. Okay. Because my class on Thursdays is called The Secrets of Shabbos. So I invite people to come to learn with me Thursday mornings at 9:30. I always forget to tell everybody. I give a whole class. I said, oops, I forgot to tell everybody, but come learn with me Thursday mornings. And Shlomo says this is about secrets. I want you to listen to this very deep. Imagine when you love someone very much, you tell each other secrets. But then there's such deep secrets, you can't even tell them on your own. Unless someone is begging you and asking you so much, please tell me, you can't tell. You know something? This is so deep, the deepest depth. God is revealing secrets to us all the time. Everything is a secret. To see another human being is another secret of God. So we should all the revelation should come down. Amen. And to know that, thank you, Shlomo, for getting us all together. And many people here never even met Shlomo, but Shlomo still put us all together. And I have to thank Shlomo for all my best friends in the world, Judy and Shalom, and a million people. Shlomo put us all together. And thank you again for this bestest hour of my whole year to be able to teach on Shlomo's Yahrtzeit. And afterwards, if anybody wants to get a call, Chevra, I sell them for 60 shekels, or whatever you give me is okay. And they're going to be on the table over there. And I put it out for the 20th Yahrtzeit. Very inspirational stories. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. How do we turn it off? Who knows how to turn it off?
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. We're getting ready for the next class, Shlomo Katz.